Why so far away?
I don't want to sit close to you. You're dangerous.
So before we start, Antonio, it's because there are some people here. I understand that there is a Hajduk. It was a discussion about Hajduk, right? After all of this 40 minutes, the big question remains: why Hajduk is number 3 last year? It's not insulting anything, you know. It's just get shit done mentality, right? We're gonna get to that later. But it's get shit done. Everyone wants Hajduk to be number 1, but it's 20 years is not number 1, right?
Hopefully this year.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Everyone says that. Anyway, sorry.
Let's start. First, guys, thank you for joining the conference. Let's talk a little bit about fintech. Less painful topic. So usually when we say fintech, people think just about transactions, payments, etc. Can you just, in short lines, explain what's the fintech, what's behind that, and how do you see, like personally, what's the definition of the fintech by yourself? Anyone can start, so whoever wants first.
Boris, KexPay, good company.
Well, thank you very much for the invitation. When we talk about fintech, it's just easy to say. Let's say you have some financial services on the other one side, and then you have some technology on the other side, and you try to use all the technology that you have, including AI and so on, to make financial services more accessible, to make it better. Well. Better as such, yeah. So this is always fintech, insurtech. I mean, in fintech you have various apps and various streams, insurance companies and insurance as financial industry connected with high technology. Then we talk about insurtech, and all other things is just fintech.
So just it's more broader than just transactions and.
Yeah. Look, Antonio, so 2015 was the year that Revolut started, and that year started other big names in fintech. N26, Monzo, Starlink, I think, you know, so it was the right timing, right? Because when you look before that, the main fintech or challenger was TransferWise, where you need to go there to book your transfer, then do the transfer, then like it's clunky, you know? And everyone knew that banks' legacy systems were clunky, especially in Europe. China was already ahead, you know, China was like miles ahead, like 1,000 years ahead, you know, with their kind of adoption of mobile, apps and something. So when I first spoke with founders of Revolut, early 2015, they said, look, TransferWise is shit, you know. If anyone from TransferWise, forgive my French, but it's still shit now. It was like, okay, why don't we connect the card? Why don't we make everything for free? Why don't we make transfers for free? So to answer your point, yes, transfers was like a normal thing, but let's say with Revolut or with maybe other players out there, it was the many things that led, especially the conversion rate. You know, especially you guys here, you had Kuna many years, and any other non-Euro country adopted Revolut like crazy because it's the best exchange, and the banks, some of you may know already, would charge you from 3 to 10%, and the airports would charge you 10%, 15% on the top of the market, you know, mid-market rate of the conversion. So it's all of this. Legacy system is definitely there. Legacy is a lot of, you know, legacy is like a, you know, how to say, it's a bad, you know, it's haunting you as a bank, you know. I'm not gonna mention the names, but let's say OTP Bank or something. It's haunting you. because you developed this 20 years ago, it's worked nice, now it's like you have to develop all over again. It's crazy. I can feel them. If I was one of their executives, I would feel, I would probably kill myself. Yeah, I would feel them.
Okay, Nikola, what's your idea? How do you see fintech? You are just, who doesn't know Nikola here? Nikola is quite involved in a blockchain community in Croatia, but he's also co-founder of Money Motion, the biggest fintech conference in region probably, and it's growing. So you are talking a lot with people in finance in Croatia, in our region, in industry, etc. How do you see fintech more, maybe to give some insights on crypto base also?
Yeah, I think this is great definition or distinction. Legacy systems versus basically startups. And I think what Boris is doing is the best example of that. You have like an internal startup inside of bank. What's the difference between KexPay and Erste Bank? Erste is built on legacy systems, and Kex is using new, like 20, 30 years old technologies and methodologies. So basically doing the same thing. What is fintech? Fintech is everything that banks, investment companies, exchanges, what legacy systems do, but basically written in Python. Let's say, I mean, done in lean startup kind of way, because it's basically the same technology, it's the same service. You are serving the same people. You are trying to satisfy the same needs, but you are doing it in a more flexible way, in a new way. One banking infrastructure guy told me, why do you guys learn Python? You need to learn COBOL. We need COBOL programmers. All of our libraries were written 40 years ago, and that was 10 years ago. So basically, for me, fintech is everything that banking, investment, insurance is, but rewritten from COBOL to Python.
Okay, Boris, question for you. Is it hard to have something modern, like fintech application inside traditional bank? Like, I assume you are under the bank, you have much more regulations comparing to other fintech startups. How hard is to maintain? Like, how hard is to push forward in that
how much you have to deal with these, board members who are like, I'm not gonna stereotype here, but like maybe not, maybe yes. Do you need to convince them, or it's like do whatever you want?
No, we started. Thank you very much for the question. Yeah. Thank you also very much for the question. Well, we started KexPay. We're talking about KexPay. It's a payment app here, very popular in Croatia, together also with Revolut, of course. And some other apps. We do it inside inside of the bank, and we started with, hi guys, here you have some millions of euros. Do something and try to make it attractive to the people. So we are not attached to the main decision-making hierarchy. But still, of course, some main strategies we do discuss with our CEOs. Especially if you are part of such a bank, then the only way to establish such kind of startup that we do like KexPay is to be not to be detached from the decision making. So this.
Let's talk about future of the payment. So when Nikola and I had discussion with one director from Visa, if you remember on Blocksplit, he told us one thing, that actually still the majority of payments are cash, and the credit cards like Visa providers, they are trying to compete with the cash. So how do you see future? Is a future cashless? And will everything be digital, like we will have digital wallets, transfer money, pay with the digital wallets like China, or cash still will be the king?
I had a lunch at one place in Split. I'm not going to mention the name, Duya. And the guy, one of the main guys there, not the player, not the Hajduk player, don't worry. the Hajduk colleague. He was saying, I love cash. And he was like, I can pay police when I'm drunk and driving home, you know. It was shocking to me, you know, because in Lithuania we don't have these things anymore. That's fine, you know. I can live with that, with this thing, you know. I even prefer these things, you know. You pay directly to police equipage, but it's not only here, right? There is Germany, heavy on cash.
No, I'm talking globally.
Look, man. The thing is, for example, for me, cash is not. I mean, I had to transfer somebody after playing paddle yesterday. I had to transfer Ante, you know, 50 euros on Revolut, so he can give me 50 euros in cash, right? Because I knew that I will need it, you know, to pay the police. Not. But the thing is, for me, the main thing that the guys who keep cash and think that cash is important, so far, what I learned, is the control of their money. And that's the only thing that interests me in crypto world. Let's say if it's stablecoin, especially, that I can go you know, on my own custodian, you know, and can keep it in the USB drive, you know, somewhere, and it's my money. Because the banks, you know, I'm pretty sure people know here that if the shit hits the fan in the world, banks won't have the money to give you. You won't be able to get the money from the ATM machines. There's not going to be enough money to give you. There is Silicon Valley case. Everyone rushed to, you know, to get the money, and Silicon Valley Bank essentially bankrupted. You know, they had to be bought. So this is important from the crypto perspective, and Nikola will maybe talk about that. And I kind of sometimes get excited about that crypto angle, especially on the stablecoin, not on the BTC or Ether, you know, which fluctuates like 3,000% a day, you know. But from there, so there is, you know, so I would say, Antonio, what you asked for, it's almost a representation of people's ownership and people wanting to keep their own money. Because again, I have to, being a very, very biased person from a bank perspective, banks don't have the money to repay you if you all rush to the bank. It's very, very simple. The banks don't have the money if, you know, something bad happens. And it's interesting, but of course you cannot, you know, how can I keep 1 million in cash? It's you know, they're gonna, you know, the paper itself can rotten or get, you know, dirty or something, you know. So that's the crypto guys, you know, especially the stablecoin, for me at least, you know, that could happen. Sorry, Boris, yeah, go ahead.
Now, I have 2 points on cash. Maybe one question for the audience, the ones who are not. One question for the audience. 2 years ago, in 2022 in Croatia, out of 100 transactions, how many were done in cash? Who says 75%? Who says 50%? Who says 25%? Okay, 75% of all the transactions were done in cash. But still, on the other side, so 25% were by cards. But still, cards and cashless is coming. But still, in the end, also in 20 years, in 30 years, in 50 years, we will have cash, which is a prerogative. It's a good so. The other thing is with China, maybe they can do it. They do it their own way, but cash will still be here, also in 50 years. I'm sure about that.
Do you think that's related to the Nikola? Maybe question for you. The cash is related directly to the privacy, because like
to what? Oh, privacy.
To privacy, yeah. Because
I got in fight with the last time I was in Zagreb, in Money Motion. I got in fight with one of your speakers. I don't remember who. I don't want to remember who. He was telling me like, "You stupid fuck, you know, you don't do this, you know, cash is the thing." And he was like touching his, you know, like, like. Yeah, you keep your cash in your pocket, you know. I was really like annoyed, you know. So don't invite me or him to Money Motion next year.
No, so when a few years back there was a panel also on a financial conference, and they were discussing payments methods in Croatia, and having exact this discussion. And I asked the question, okay, so but did anybody do a study why people like cash? What are the reasons? Because there are like several, if you read about it, there are several reasons. Some people like the control of cash because they know how much they spent, because you have to go to the ATM and retrieve the money. Then the second is the argument that you said, the custody of the funds. People like to know that money is theirs and that nobody can take it from them. If banks go bust, their cash is still with them. Some people like anonymity. And it's really interesting that nobody wrote a dissertation on the topic which one of those is dominating, and this is really what determines what's going to be the future of money. If people want to just feel the money and go to ATM when they spend too much, then cash will not die ever, except if you guys wallet providers develop some kind of a function. If you spend 100 euros, you have to get out of the bar and go to the nearest ATM and just touch it and then get back. That maybe implementing something like that. That won't happen. But if it's that people want to have custody, then crypto is obviously the future. So it depends really on this crucial question: why are people using cash? And I'm shocked. I really try to research that. There's not really that much research on that topic.
But regarding the crypto, crypto solved a lot of issues like custody. Okay, like you actually own your money. You are not like international transfers with stable coins, etc., etc. Why we still didn't adopt the blockchain as technology more in a fintech world? Like why it's still it's a question for Nikola. Technology is good. It's amazing for finance, but still it's especially me and you, we are quite involved in communities, etc. It's still somewhere on a side. It's not mainstream yet.
It's shitty user interface. If you look at their apps, they're beautiful. They look nice, if you open any, so he's right, if you want to use crypto for payments, you need to use stablecoins because volatile assets don't.
Stablecoins are quite powerful.
Yes.
And solving a lot of issues that banks have today.
But if you go on Google right now and Google a stablecoin wallet and install 2 or 3 of them, they're not good. The UX is bad, they crash, it's complicated to top them up, and then in the end, of course, there's not a lot of places to pay with them. In Croatia, this is solved. We onboarded you can live off of crypto in Croatia, but in other countries that's a problem. But in Croatia, people, my mother cannot use a crypto wallet because it's too complex.
So it's still user experience.
User experience is king.
Boris, question for you. Can you explain the concept buy now, pay later, and why that's more and more popular worldwide? Not maybe in Croatia, but it's something that is coming here.
Yeah, buy now, pay later. We do that. We have that in Croatia for a long time. It's a short-term finance. It's a short-term finance without interest rate, where you buy a specific product, let's say for 100, which costs 100 euro, and then you pay initial, let's say 20 euro, and the other 80 euro you pay, let's say, in 4 installments. This is something that's also in common here. Plaćanje rate, pa koliko rata želite, pa 56 rata. It's more or less
exactly the same in Lithuania. The same language,
it's more or less the same. Maybe the convenience of buy now, pay later is it's more convenient because you get the contract much more faster than with credit cards. But I don't see any huge difference with credit cards.
It's a personal loan or credit cards. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's more or less the same thing.
Same thing. What we do in the countries where we can offer the buy now, pay later, BNPL, is you can go, I don't remember the timeline, not forever or most likely, but you can go into your Revolut purchases, historic purchases. Let's say you need money now. You're at the, one of those clubs, Central nightclub, where I was 3 days in a row in Split, and you need money. So what you go back in your history of Revolut. Let's say if it was provided in Croatia or UK or Lithuania as I'm a resident, you see a purchase. You can actually divide with Revolut. You can actually divide any purchase more than €1 into, I don't remember, 6 or 10 or 12. Let's say I see a purchase of 1,000 a month ago. I divide it. I got 900 into my account now. The free money. Of course, there is an interest rate attached to the. I need to pay now 9 installments.
That's lending, yeah.
Yeah.
Short-term
but
lending,
then at least it's this, I can. Wow, I'm richer now. I can spend more money. So that's the thing. But even the Klarna, the pioneer.
But that's not buy now, pay later. It's something.
I mean, it's fine. In Lithuania, when buy now, pay later came in, let's say in Lithuania, I mean, it didn't came in Lithuania. Klarna is not in Lithuania. But we have this thing, 10 installments, 0 interest in Lithuania for many years now. When you buy a, washing machine or TV, it's just, personally, I don't get it too much. Personally, I really don't get it too much. Klarna kind of model,
Boris, question for you. So AI is a big thing, and in fintech also they said like a lot of things will change. Like the offering from the fintech application could be more personalized, etc., etc. Do you use AI in KEXPay? How do you leverage it? How do you see that? And then second question. On AI, what about the privacy? If you are learning on all the data, like how do you secure the privacy?
Well, we are not using AI yet. We are testing it, also because of the regulatory issues. On the other side, yesterday I read an article that said that AI didn't bring any big impact to the business till now. No big impact on business till now. So this is something that are going to come. As we are highly regulated industry here, oftentimes we have to wait to use such kind of tools only when you have the proper regulation. So we will have it in the customer service and stuff like this, but not now.
How do you see the usage of that will we really have the proper personalization of the fintech applications?
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know what will come.
Nikola,
I mean, you can help.
Do you have just any idea where it is going? Or?
No, we don't have. And for me, AI is like the epitome of what's wrong with capitalism, because as a CEO of a company, I'm thinking about the ways that AI can reduce my cost. And as a user of Croatian banking system, when I have a problem and I have to open a chat widget, I just pray it's not AI. And that's why we don't have AI, and I mean, for some time we will not have, and we are losing money because of that, because we would probably, we are just offloading our problems on our users, because if I want to talk to a person, I mean, I haven't had a problem with my bank that a chatbot was able to solve. And I'm sure there are people who have those kinds of problems, fine, okay. And I'm sure that there are customers of Electrocoin that could be served by AI. But that means that some other people first have to go through an AI, and this is just bad user experience, you know. I'm sure there's plenty other fields, for instance, credit rating, stuff like that, robo-advisory, stuff like that in insurtech, where AI in fintech makes sense. But 99.9% of AI in fintech is just customer support and chatbots, and I hate that thing.
You can. So.
And they have them.
I left.
Do you use AI in chat support?
I left London 4 years ago, I think. So, and I lived there with family 3-4 years, you know, before I left. My Amazon purchases increased, like, let's say 60 purchases first year, 200 purchases next year, 300, and then I think 500 the last year. Again, normally it's fine, you know, next day delivery, after next day delivery, it's all fine, you know. And maybe 3 times I had to deal. I knew that to deal with the customer support, you know, something is not delivered, etc., etc. You couldn't believe how fast, and I knew that I'm speaking with the AI bot. So Amazon is like, I mean, it's not here in Croatia, I guess, Amazon, just the international maybe. Yeah? And I mean, fast. It's like, just forget your delivery. Here is 20 top up, you know, 20 pounds top up in your account. That's it. Thank you. Is there anything else I can help you? Because everyone understands that it's the money that is involved in the customer support, right? And we as Revolut, actually, we developed our AI for Rita. It's called Rita. Don't remember what's the acronym is for already 6 or 7 years ago. And it's dealing with, you know, it depends on the week, but, you know, from 30 to 50% of all the inquiries from customers. And it's dealing it nicely. It's dealing it nicely. Of course, no one wants the inquiries in the first place. No one wants the inquiries. I never had to deal with the Revolut chatbot. I only dealt with the Slack, within Slack. But it's going to be there. Look, guys, I understand what you say. Klarna is probably one of the pioneers in fintech that is now promoting this. Oh, we reduced it 50%. You know, they're really, really big and promoting it. I think it's just inevitable. And now, look, I'm not sure how many people left in the amphitheater. But for example, when I had a really, really bad moment last year with my son's disease, and my son was ill, I opened Pi.ai. Pi.ai. There is Reid Hoffman's company, LinkedIn owners company, you know, who not LinkedIn owners, LinkedIn founders company, you know, he's one of the prominent investors there. They created this social, it's not ChatGPT. You can talk deep, personal, psychological things with this AI. It was the best conversation I ever had in my life, talking with this Pi.ai AI in my life. About my son. About his illness, and so it's the perfect script, and it doesn't matter that it's script. You just read it as a human, and you understand it's a bot, you know. But at the same time, it's just amazing. That's the thing that I believe AI is gonna be there forever.
Nikola, we have 5 minutes left, and want to focus more on things in the future. DeFi. Can you just, in short notes, explain what's the DeFi, and do you think that's the future of the finance?
Okay, DeFi, short for decentralized finance, is financial services on the blockchain. So 99.9% of financial services right now are centralized. You enter into contract with the bank, with an insurance company, with a payment company, with a brokerage house, and they provide you services. What DeFi does is provides not the same, but similar services, but without the counterparty. So basically, a blockchain offers you this service. First and the main advantage of this that I see is basically what Boris is doing. So you are building something from scratch without the baggage. So there's no big bang board telling you what to do when you build on blockchain. You're just a random hacker somewhere in whatever, South America, and you have this idea and you're talking to your crypto friends, and we could do this like this, we could do this like that, and a lot of tools are already developed, and you just use them as Lego bricks and build something completely new and push it to millions of users who can start using that financial service right away and get feedback in like few days. Usually, Electrocoin is now trying to work with the bank to push a brand new financial service that doesn't exist in Croatia. We've been doing it for the last 6 months, and we haven't even started. You know, I think that's the biggest promise of DeFi. You can just do Lego money. You can pick some services. For instance, you can take a lending service or collateralized lending service. You take some dollars, you take $100, you buy a stable coin worth of $100, you put that in some kind of staking decentralized application that gives you, say, 3% per year. Today, that's nothing because central bank gives you 3.5%, but 2 years ago, that was a bunch because banks were giving you minus something, you know. Okay, now you put that there. In traditional finance, that means your money is frozen, you cannot touch it for 6 months. But in DeFi, it means you can take this staked money and do something with it. You can maybe exchange it for gold, and then you're exposed to this safe kind of investment where you get some yield, and then you're also exposed to the price of gold, which means which is something like pushing that through Croatian National Bank. I mean, I like those guys. They have a job. Their job is to provide financial and monetary stability to the whole country. 5 million people, or 4 million people, 3.5, I don't know how many. And in DeFi, you have a lot of people that are used to losing their money all the time, so we can play with it, you know? If you just get burnt and you lose all of your money that you invested in this new high-risk, completely crazy product, I mean, that's just another day in crypto, you know?
Degen play.
That Degen play. But also, you're helping them test out some really, you know, top-notch, cutting-edge services that, you know, it would take 30 years for banks to develop. And I think that this is probably what this kind of bleeding-edge, completely crazy innovation is what DeFi is all about.
And you open a good discussion, and that's next question for the board. Is like, how hard is to compete with regulation when you are building something innovative in fintech? Like, how do you compete with that? Because usually the innovation goes much faster than regulation.
Yes, this is a problem. This is a problem. In a normal bank, you have time to market. It's around 2 years. I mean, and in fintech, time to market 2 years. I mean,
You are dead.
You're really dead. So what we do, we try to talk to our national bank, also on the products that we do. On the other side, we have to fit in. Everybody has to fit in, unfortunately. And this is also a big burden of the fintech industry. This is a big burden of Revolut, a big burden of KexPay, which is also fintech. This is also a big burden, and also the reason why we don't have so much big and successful fintechs. I mean, when we talk about Europe, we have maybe 20 successful fintechs. This is, I mean, guys, this is really nothing. And this is one of the major things is regulation. Second thing is you need to have much money for this and so on. But maybe a really good way also for the future for fintechs is to cooperate with big banks, to cooperate with the big techs in the industry. So, and this is then called B2B to C. So this is also really a path for new fintechs to get inside banks who have many customers, who have also their market share, and so to bring their service through big techs and through big banks to the customers.
Thanks, very nice answer. That's all, because we don't have time for the questions, but as far as I know, they are all approachable, so if you have some questions, just reach them and ask them directly. And thank you guys for sharing all the information and to joining for this panel discussion.